Warner Brothers released Justice League, there was hopes that DC could reverse the trend that its own superhero films had been encountering. Bad screenplay, bad acting, bad computer graphics, bad everything. But even the most loyal DC fans were optimistic that Justice League could have been something to save the DC extended universe. But this was not to be. To Warner Brothers threatening Rotten Tomatoes to hold the reviews for Justice League, to Henry Cavill's mustache that was digitally removed, to early rumors that well before the film was released, there was problems on set between actors and crew, to reports that Ben Affleck was reported to have been forced to play Batman Bruce Wayne to fulfill contractual obligations. With all of this now known, saying, reporting that Justice League was a disappointment and a disaster is an understatement. With Marvel releasing Infinity War, this is the culmination of nearly 10 years of Marvel cinematic superheroes. Does this signal the end for the DCEU? Everyone is talking about it, from the most diehard and loyal fans to the most casual viewers who know nothing else besides what they see in previews and when they visit their local theater. In many ways, it is the end. Though some say that the DC extended universe might somehow come back and manage to salvage what's left of this superhero universe's reputation and can see what can be done from there on. Popular speculation is that to the contrary to what many would want to see, meaning that DC will just end the movies and reboot or just end it all, that simply won't happen. Why? There's too much money to be made. Marvel has made literally billions of dollars from their films. It offsets the reality that with the modern times we now live in, the comic readership is low and film is one way that the publishers can survive. Even if DC's films on average are not as good when compared to Marvel films in terms of who they hire for roles, people they hire to write scripts, or amount of money put into special effects or editing, DC can still make money back from a subpar film. They have already done this. What's sad is that arguably the level of storytelling isn't as high as Marvel has done, and DC's characters, which has just as much death in history, aren't getting the same level of treatment that they rightfully deserve. Not that Marvel is innocent. Some of its franchises perform less than others. Good examples being Iron Man and Thor, with the first Iron Man film being brilliant, while the other two were average to disappointing. While the first two Thor films were the same, meaning average to slightly disappointing, with the third being brilliant. But with fan reception being better towards Marvel, viewers are willing to forgive them for their lacking substance in their films. DC has not been so kind in terms of the fan reception, as well as reception and criticism with all of DC's films up until Justice League. When compared to Marvel, the only film that can even be viewed favorably is Wonder Woman. Even Marvel can't hold up a cinematic universe with just a single franchise. And it's predicted that DC will have to use the Wonder Woman franchise to basically hold up the DC extended universe for a number of years possibly, until other solo films can be released to help share the burden. It's sort of to be expected. Warner Brothers kept plenty of what's happening behind Justice League scenes hidden as much as possible to avoid any unwanted attention. Try as they might, leaks got out and soon word spread. What people didn't expect is that how actually bad it really was. It was as bad as many had feared, and those who predicted that the film would fail simply said, "I told you so." While those who were hoping that DC could have used this to turn the whole DCEU around was disappointed, and this might prove to be the final nail in the coffin for the DC Extended Universe. Why do I mention that again? As mentioned, Warner Brothers can still make movies for the DCEU, but the impact that they could have had, the income that they could have had, the casual fans who might wanted to check out DC Comics could have had, they won't, because estimates now is that from Justice League on, though people will pay to see DC films, it won't be as high as it could have been, or dare I say, on average, against a Marvel film. By now, from the first official movie of Phase 1, which was Iron Man, to the Infinity War films, which is the end of Phase 3, everything was done first by Marvel, from solo hero films, to crossovers, to hidden references, to post-credit cutscenes. In terms of casual fans, they have seen this done before, and though they would be excited to see a DC version of it, it's already been done by Marvel, and some of the allure is no longer there. So some might not even want to see it or even avoid it altogether because they've already seen it. It's already been done. Nothing is new for them in that sort of view. Longtime fans will be more skeptical because of the failures that DC has already done, and would hold them to a higher standard in terms of what they expect from a film. In all seriousness, it's been predicted that the DCEU might be rebooted in some way, but when, if not, what can be done with it post-Justice League and Infinity War? Drastic changes must happen in order to save it. If not, then in all honesty, they don't have a chance.